Hello guys, welcome back to my channel Scholar Classes. So today we'll be discussing about the part 2 of the history lesson, the French Revolution. So let's get started. The revolt activities were carried out by the peasants and workers in the past as well against the taxes and food scarcity, but they lacked proper organization. To carry out the movement in a large scale, gradually within the third state, some people had become prosperous and most of them were educated. Some of the thinkers held the view that no section of the society should be privileged by birth. These thinkers were Rousseau. He was a French man and had a very good impact on the French society through his books and writings. Next on the line is John Locke. He was an Englishman. Then we have Montesquieu. The French society was divided into three states: the clergy, nobility, and the third state. And the third state people were supposed to pay the taxes. As the financial condition of France was in turmoil, the king had no other options left but to increase the tax in the country. Being a monarch, he did not have the power to impose tax on his own. Now let's discuss something about the meeting which was held in the luxurious palace of Versailles. On 5th May 1789, Louis XVI called a meeting or an assembly of the States General in his luxurious palace, that is the Versailles. How many members or representatives from each state attend the meeting? The answer to this question is very simple. The first state sent 300 members, the second state sent 300 members, and finally the third state sent 600 members. The third state were represented by its more prosperous and educated members, but peasants, artisans, women were denied entry into the meeting. Now let's see how was voting conducted in France at that time. In the past, according to law, each state had one vote. That means if the first state sent 300 members, their votes would be counted as one vote. Likewise, the vote of 300 members of the second state was also counted as one vote. The third state sent 600 representatives and their votes was also counted as one vote. This was not the basic principle of voting, and the king was determined to use the same practice now also. Hence, the representatives of the third state held the view that each state should have one vote and one vote should have one value. When the third state proposed the idea of one vote, one value to the monarch rejected this proposal and the members of third state walked out of the assembly in protest. This important protest gave a birth to another different event, that is the tennis court oath. The representatives of the third state were determined to change the existing laws. Therefore, they gathered in the hall of an indoor tennis court in the grounds of Versailles on 20th June 1789. They declared themselves as National Assembly and took an oath to draft a constitution for France. This famous event is known as Tennis Court Oath. The National Assembly was led by Mirabeau and Abbassius. Through their speeches and journals, they mobilized their support from the people. Abbassius wrote a pamphlet called What is the Third State? The miseries and problems faced by the common people, especially from the third state, made Mirabeau and Abbassius to take active participation for the cause. Mirabeau belonged to the noble family and Abbassius belonged to the clergy, that is, from the family of bishops, and they fought for the goodwill of the people. Now let's turn our attention to the next subtopic of this chapter, which is very, very important, that is the fall of Bastille. While the constitution was being drafted at Versailles, the citizens from the third state were facing problems. Now, what kind of problems they were facing? The food prices were increasing, harvest turned out to be a great loss. Common people started agitating against the autocratic rule of the monarch. Hence, on 14th July 1789, the agitated crowd stormed at Bastille, which stood for the despotic powers of the king. All kinds of criminals, weapons, war arsenals were kept at Bastille. That is why Bastille was very, very important for the king. On the other side, people started attacking the clergy and nobility, burnt their houses and properties in anger. Finally, the monarch accepted the demand of the third state to form National Assembly, and from now on the power of the king would be checked by the constitution. So, we can say that the revolution brought some relief for the common people. The fall of Bastille was so much important that even today, every year on 14th July, the people of France they celebrate this day as Bastille Day. As we read earlier about the revolt, which turned out to be a great successful one, it was followed by the drafting of constitution by the National Assembly, which was completed in 1791. It had the following features. The new constitution decreased the power of the king. Decentralization of power. It means all the powers of the king would be distributed among the three institutions of the government, that is, the legislature, the executive, and the judiciary. This made France a constitutional monarchy. The monarch Louis XVI became so sad because from now on all his powers would be checked by a constitution. The constitution did not give voting rights to all the citizens. The citizens were divided into two groups, namely active citizens and passive citizens. Active citizens were those citizens who had voting rights. Only men above 25 years can vote. They paid the taxes which was equivalent to their 3 days' wages. And passive citizens were those citizens who did not have voting rights. It included women, children, and youth below 25 years age. So the passive citizens were not supposed to give their votes during an election, but active citizens can cast their votes during an election. So, guys, with this, we finish the part 2 of this lesson. So, if you like this video, please like, share, and subscribe to my channel. Thank you, and bye bye.